plate, and you do get a grand slam home run, and that feels great, right? But then, sometimes that becomes addictive. And all you want to do is get a grand slam home run every time you show up to the plate. And then you neglect the fact that getting on base is what's most important. And then eventually, you get enough people on base, and you start to score runs, right? In our particular business, bases are real simple, right? It's first base is hosting a challenge party, right? Second base is 3 for free, right? And then third base would be helping others host a challenge party, right? And then you start to get home when you start teaching others how to teach people how to get on first base, how to get on second base. John Wooden started each year of his season. He would start each year, and he'd say, he'd get all his players together, and then he'd have them put on their socks and their shoes. Now, John Wooden he was a UCLA basketball coach. He was considered the most winning coach of all time. He won 10 national championships, 7 in a row, 85 years. He considered by ESPN and a variety of coaches to be the best coach of all time. He had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Have you ever heard of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 7-foot-tall person who could play basketball out of the womb. Like he was born to play basketball. But yet, little coach would make him put on his socks and his shoes. Why do you think coach would do that?
Basics.
Well, basics. But what coach said to me when I got to interview him, he said he did it because he was worried about his players getting blisters, right? Because if they got blisters, they couldn't run fast. And if they couldn't run fast, then they weren't going to win, because basketball is a game of speed and endurance, right? You have to run fast and you have to have endurance. Direct selling, network marketing, the business model that we built at Visalis is one of speed and endurance, right? And that's why you see some people, they run really, really fast, and then they run out of, they don't have endurance. Or you see some people that run in a very unchanneled, I like to equate it to like, they grow like a weed, and eventually then they have to prune to grow again, right? Because they're not growing and duplicating with the fundamentals. And socks and shoes in this business model is simple. It's hosting an effective challenge party, that's putting on the socks correctly, and getting people to 3 for free, that's putting on the shoes. Now you guys should know all about the New Body by Vi 90-Day Challenge, and understand how that's a significant investment in your businesses, right? You have a better refund policy than Jason O'Toole did when he first signed up, or Matt Brett did. You have Project 10, and I heard a number of Project 10 winners have been in the Quebec area, right? So, that's an opportunity to share those stories with people fundamentally, joining Visalis, getting results from the product, and to be able to share those stories, all day long, right? And I heard one story from a woman who said she did it because she wanted to get into a wedding dress. Do you guys see that video? I mean, there's no better marketer in the history of the world than a woman that's fitting into a wedding dress, right? I mean, how did you do it? You look beautiful. You look gorgeous. I use Visalis. So to me, that was one of the most inspiring stories. Now, that's not a story that I created on my own. That's not a story of mine, right? On my Facebook page, for example, I have like 164,000 people that follow me, right? What I do on a challenge isn't necessarily going to be interesting to all 164,000 of those people, right? But I can find stories from the Project 10 library and from the monthly challenge winner library, and I can share those stories with my friends on Facebook and get them engaged. And it's fascinating. I have this sister who, her name's Beverly, and she's been my sister for 35 years, and because I'm 35 years old, and she had no idea what I did for a living until very recently. So I started talking about Project 10, then all of a sudden it dawns on her that we sell our challenge as a weight loss company. Because it's real easy when you're talking about the challenge to not explain that weight loss is probably the most significant portion of our customer base of the challenge, right? And so she's like, oh, I want to get into the best shape I can for a high school reunion, right? And so next thing you know, she's on the product. My brother Brian, same exact thing. Both of them recently just signed up because it finally dawned on them that we had a product, right? And that we had a challenge that helped people lose weight or get in shape. Now, in the meantime, I was talking about my Muay Thai challenge. I was talking about, Nick was talking about his baseball challenge, Blake Jiu-Jitsu. One person had a knife throwing challenge. Another person had, a drum challenge. And, last year we saw a lot of people talk about these very exotic, very unrelatable, very unintuitive challenges, right? I mean, so Project 10 keeps us constantly on message and keeps us constantly, talking with intuition, right? And sharing stories that relate to mass audiences. One of the things that I would suggest is definitely go through all those Project 10 ones, watch them all, and then just, take a mental note. When you meet a person that reminds you of that story, or someone tells you, if I'm a man, and a woman says, I have a wedding coming up. I go, oh my goodness, I have a great story. And I email her the link or post her the link of the person who used Visalis to get into her wedding dress, right? Does that make sense? Now, I wouldn't be able to sit down with a woman, about to, I'm not a personal trainer, or, I wouldn't sit down with a woman about to get married and say, hey, let me help you get in that dress. I'd say, I know the product works, and I'd send her the story of someone who used it for that particular scenario. Or a person like Eric Rose, for example. Do you guys know that story? Right? I don't know what it's like to be 600 pounds, right? I wouldn't know exactly what to do, but I could connect a prospect or a person that I meet with to Eric Rose's testimony and say, hey, this sounds very similar. And and those are the tools and the assets that you have to build a very large business that serves a lot of individuals. And those are the investments that we made this year. My advice to you is adopt the new Body by Vi challenge like it's just like you started a brand new season and even a brand new business. Because you have something that no one else has had before you. Better refund policy. You have 47 million people that have gotten free product prizes, right? You have the challenge trainer, the timeline app. You have the transformation vacation with a $5,000 shopping spree. Those are all assets that you should be utilizing. Project 10, of course. Right? So my advice to you is when the company puts our assets together, whether it be launching into a new country, launching new products, which we'll definitely make announcements at the National Success Training, launching new countries, which we'll definitely make announcements at the National Success Training, you want to leverage the company's assets as best as you can to build your own business. Does that make sense? Yes. Right? So the reason why we have to have 500 employees is so you don't. Right? The reason why I have to have an attorney is so you don't have to have an attorney. The reason why I have to have supply chain people and all the great talented people we've been able to get is so you don't. The key is for you guys to leverage the company's investments and to maximize and use those assets to your benefit and build your business. Like I said, when I looked at the math just the other day, something like 80% of all ambassadors in the company's businesses have grown month over month, January and February. And they've grown double digits. So if you're one of the 20% or one of the RDs that isn't growing, then ask yourself, what am I not doing? And I'll tell you, it always comes down to fundamentals in business. It always comes down to fundamentals, and it always comes down to something that you can control. A lot of times I've noticed entrepreneurs spend time in the things they can't control, right? Like you can't control the weather, right? You can't control the calendar. You can't control whether or not a person decides they want to go, they want to pursue another opportunity. You can't control all that stuff, right? You can control the amount of challenge parties that are happening on your calendar. You have 30 boxes in a month, or 31, or this month we have 28. You can control how many challenge parties you attend. You can control how many challenge parties are being attended, right? You can control that box, those calendars. You can't control how many people are signing up at each challenge party, right? You can't control how many people turn into promoters at a challenge party. You can control the amount of preparation you put into the challenge party. You can control the way the challenge party runs. You can control the amount of challenge parties, but you have no idea how many people are actually going to be qualified to either become a customer or become a promoter as a result of the challenge party. Does that make sense? Yeah. Focus on what you can control, not what you can't control. Right? Now, when you can control it, you want to set yourself to the highest standard possible. I would challenge each of you to say, what leader is growing, right, in this business at the fastest pace, and how do I make sure that I'm growing at that pace? Duplicating the new Body by Vi 90-day challenge. The 3 for free pools are going to drive significant behavior, right? We've never focused on that. Jason will tell you, 3 for free was kind of something that happened along the way, right? So on the 3 for free, for example, we never had an incentive to help a customer. If a customer signed up and got 2 other customers, right? So they had them plus 2. You got, let's say, 10% commission in that scenario, right? If they signed up a 3rd customer and they got their product for free, did you get any more commission for that?
No.
No. In the new system, you would actually get a pull check, right? And not only that, but the way you get a customer to get their product for free is by helping, having them host a challenge party just like a promoter would. And by hosting that challenge party, that customer may introduce you to new promoters, right? It's that simple. So I would be holding myself to a standard saying, out of all the customers and all the promoters that came into my group, right? Out of all of them, how many of those customers and how many of those promoters hosted a challenge party, right? If the highest standard was 100%, which I know that's not possible, and in large scales, but let's say 100%, that was my goal, of all my customers would at least get a call or an email to host a challenge party so we could help them get their product for free. And I was going to have almost 100% of all my promoters host a challenge party within X many days of signing up, right? Imagine how much more your business would start to duplicate if that occurred. Now, every one of us has control over that calendar. There's a guy named Bonsai. Have you guys met Bonsai? Yeah. So Bonsai, he struggled over and over. Every month he'd try to get to PD, and he'd always fall a couple thousand short. And one day I sat down with him, and he gave me every excuse in the book. And I like to say that, in the recession, we had to lay off the excuse department. So unfortunately, there's no one to take excuses anymore. And he said, Ryan, I'm a refugee. I hardly speak English. I don't know Facebook. I don't know Twitter. I don't know internet marketing, right? Because, there's internet marketers and blah, blah. And I said, Bonsai, can you actually fill out the 31 boxes in the calendar? And he goes, yes. I'm great. Next time I see you, I want to see that your calendar's filled out. I get into his car the next time. There's a calendar about this big, 31 boxes, filled out with probably 15 appointments per day, right? And that's how he blew through PD all the way to 5-star. Was focused on that particular calendar. So that is my advice to you guys. If you only take one thing away, it's focus on that calendar. Got it? You guys cool on that?
Yep.
When we studied, there's a lot of fascinating data that we've been looking at here. And, clearly, having been in the marketplaces, one of the other pieces of advice I got to tell you is I've seen so many testimonies, like you guys saw here tonight, and I mean, it's so inspiring to hear about, somebody losing 50 pounds, somebody losing 100 pounds, someone losing, it's been just like the old expression, just what the doctor ordered, for me to see how many lives have been changed, right? And that's what we got to focus on. Focus on who you serve, right? Who you serve, the people that you serve. Focus on how you're going to serve them, and then put less focus on what you serve. And the reason why is some companies have a shake, we got a shake. You can sit here and argue all day long over whether or not you should have 11 grams of protein or 12 grams of protein or 12.5 or 13.1, right? And you could argue, it's like arguing religion with people, right? And you guys ever go argue religion? You'll spend the rest of your life if you're arguing religion with people, right? But I see entrepreneurs get caught into, arguing religion. And so be careful that you don't get into that particular mess, because you should be arguing about the people that you're serving. You should be arguing for helping those people. You should be trying to get more people more results out of their opportunity or their product. Not getting caught up in, how many milligrams of this or micrograms of that or this, that, or this, right? Does that make sense? So it's real easy. In fact, we're in a heavy competitive environment. We all know that. The competition's main goal is to steer your conversation, right, to a defensive conversation, right? So if you're playing defense, they're playing offense. And in this sport, offense wins, right? So the goal is put you on defense. Now, how do they do that? Well, lies, right? Somebody's telling lies about you. You defend yourself. How do they do that? They do this, they do that. I mean, we all know how they do that, right? Your goal is to play offense at all times, and maybe 20% defense. 80% offense, 20% defense. Follow me? Now, what happens is, because we're all new in entrepreneurship, we allow somebody else to take control of us by putting us on defense, right? And so one of the things I got to share with you in a very competitive environment, and it might not even be a competitive environment like a competitor. It might be a promoter who has always got a bad day, right? Or they always have a complaint. And you allow them to put you on defense, right? When you've got to be out there and be on offense. Follow me? And so that's the attitude that you have to adopt in order to be successful in this business, is you have to be able to figure out how to constantly get yourself, you do have to play defense. You do have to, defend your business and build your business and your team and all that stuff. That's just the nature of building a business in the sport. But the most important aspect of it is you can't lose sight of the offense. And that's why we rolled out the new Body by Body Challenge for you, to give you the best offensive strategy in the marketplace. That's why we're launching international just shortly after our national success rate. That's why we're doing our $1 billion extravaganza, so that way you can be a part of history in celebrating our first billion, and you can bring all your new people to be a part of that as well, right? So that's why you see the company getting out here and doing 20, myself, Nick and Blake, 72 cities in 35 days, right? Because we're not going to sit here and let people put us on defense. Because we want to be number one no matter what. Our commitment is that. And I told Jason, I said, I have a $600 million budget to make sure that's a reality, right? That we will focus on making sure we're number one in Canada, number one in the United States, and we're not going to stop until we do that, and then we'll start adding countries from there. So I want to take some time to answer a couple questions for you guys. I know it's late. I appreciate you guys coming out. So does anyone have any questions for me? Okay, great. No questions? I appreciate it. Yes?
Just with the new 3 for 3 promotions, getting a huge influx of customers, which is awesome, but it's kind of hard to track them.
Yeah.
So I have to remember, who I signed under, who customer.
There's a new 3 for 3 quick report. Have you guys taken a look at that?
Yeah, I'm talking more like a graphical tree.
Yeah. Got it.
Way
Great feedback. Great feedback. I will. One of the neat things is, the business is duplicating fast right now. So the company has to catch up on a lot of things. We will catch up on those things. So I will take that into account. I'll personally look at that back office and see how to manage it. Because clearly, if we have the most people getting their product for free, that means we have the most promoters that are successful, right? Because success is measured in entrepreneurship is profit, having a profit, right? And if you're getting your product for free, and you're carrying an average order of $100 per order, that means you're making what, $30 in commissions at a 10% level. You're getting your product for free, and so that covers your cost of shipping and handling. Plus, obviously, you're getting a pull check when you do it, and so that's a profitable promoter, right? So that's the goal: is to have the most promoters having a profit in the entire industry. So I take that feedback and I'll look at it. And I got Justin Call here. He's the person. Justin, raise your hand. I don't know if you guys know this. He runs our customer support and promoter support. So when you call, that's who you're calling right there. Is his team. He's got 200 and. Any other questions, guys? Yes.
I don't know if I missed something, but I saw a post somewhere and I kind of was blown away by it. I don't know if it's true or what. About customers are going to be movable.
Yeah, we're going to have we're going to launch it's called the customer waiting room, much like your promoter waiting room, and more details will be launched at that at the NSD, and we'll have a full training on that. So, you will be able to talk to, you might sign up a customer and then tell a promoter, listen, if you host a challenge party tonight and you get 2, I'll help you, with 1. That'll be part of it. So that'll speed. What we wanted to do, though, we didn't want to roll that all out at once. We wanted to get people duplicating, people getting their mothers back, because you don't want to give your mother away to somebody way down in, you know what I mean? You want that, right? You follow me? So, we didn't want people all right, I will give you my mom if you just host a challenge party. That might not be a gift, right? Can you imagine your mom calling this brand new promoter all the time? What is going on here? Yeah, right? So we wanted to really work through the bugs, so to speak. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, exactly. So we got to work through the bugs. And Jason O'Toole and a lot of the 5-star leadership have really been working through all the various details. What we launched at our National Success Training will no doubt continue to speed up our momentum this year. And I'm really excited by what we're already planning out big launches all the way down into next year. Right? By this time next year, in all likelihood, we'll be in 1, 2, 3 more countries. Right? By this time next year. And I have teams on the ground all around the world right now working through this. So we, at Visalis, when we came to the decision that we wanted to be a company that transcends our very industry, one that you hold up to the likes of an Apple or the likes of a Google or a great company that has done great innovations that have created a lot of value. We realize that that there is no one single-mindedly focused on solving the food problem, right, that the world is faced with, right? And so that's what our focus is. So you're going to see a lot of innovation on that. And there's great companies in direct selling, but they have beauty, they have skincare, they have vacation clubs, they have all kinds of other stuff that they're focused on. If we stay single-mindedly focused on who we serve, which is people that need to take some weight off, that's primarily who we serve, and we're going to keep those people with us as a result of our weight maintenance products and the products that fit their lifestyle. Because as you've even seen in my personal testimony, it isn't easy for most of us to keep weight off, right? It's not. It's a constant focus. Some people are blessed, that have a perfect metabolism. I'm not one of those people, and so you have to focus on it. Next question. Yes.
This is a question concerned about new products.
Yeah.
Now, Vidify was a hit. I got a lot of people asking about Vidify.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
It'll be back soon. Vidify will come back soon. There's a couple other really big things that we'll be announcing at our National Success Training. We'll never change the message. Getting people on a challenge and challenge lifestyle is the most sticky, exciting, attractive. I mean, look at all of us, right? It's changed my life, right? And it's something that, it's the best thing. And then having what we always call a la carte products, like Vidify, or some of our Nutri-Cookies, some of those other things, right? Those are great products to continue to keep people utilizing our company when they're in between challenges, right? Maybe they've got what they wanted out of the challenge and now they just want to take Nero, for example. So those are all those products. Our goal is to bring Vidify back, to bring all the U.S.-based products or a relative of them into Canada, and then to launch other countries from there. So we're working really hard to round out your product portfolio in Canada. We've hired a head of licensing, and then our goal in the future is to be able to launch products on a global basis in all countries simultaneously. So that way, we don't have to, one market doesn't have an advantage than another one. Follow me?
Let me ask you, does the magazine will be translated in French soon?
Yeah. We're working on French translation, we're working on Spanish translation, and that'll be done very soon here.
First of all, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
I got a question and a solution. I'm from Quebec, and I know you had a dinner with French people tonight from Quebec,
Yep.
leaders. And actually, my question is, we had all our launch for the new body that was a month and a half later than the rest of Canada and the United States. Would it be a solution, because we have ups and downs right now, to build up with a, let's say, a month extension of the 3-for-3 promotion in Quebec?
Yeah. Talk with Jason. Jason's putting together a plan for the marketplace. So Jason's putting together a plan. I do realize in the company, and my apologies, that we didn't launch Quebec to the standard that I hold myself to and my team to. We launched the year in English-speaking places much better than we did in Spanish and than we did in French. And so one of the things is when I see that we could play at a level much better, it drives me crazy. I get mad. I hate that, right? Because we could have launched everything simultaneously. So my apologies. Jason will have a plan. He's working with the team to get you guys sped up. And so just work with Jason on putting that together. And whatever Jason asks me to do, I generally do.
We have a number one market.
Yeah.
We want to bring it.
Yeah. You guys, you guys will do it. And we're here to support you. I have 100% support. So there's no, talk with Jason. And we got a plan. We had a nice dinner tonight, and we have to learn as a company to be. And this is very American of us, right? Americans are just one language. That's all we speak. We have to learn how to be a multilingual, multicultural company. And so I'll always tell you, like last year at this time, how many of you were here last year? Okay. Thank you. Now, last year I came to you and I said, I just got rid of the president of the company. I'm now going to run operations, move to Detroit, and things are a little better than they were this time last year, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Have I done okay?
Yes.
Right? Things, it doesn't take 15 days to ship your product anymore. Right? You have a shake that's better than the U.S. shake, right? I mean, the Canadian shake, I only take the Canadian shake. I don't take the U.S. shake. It's garbage. I don't. It's garbage compared. Don't quote me on that. I love the Canadian shake. Yeah, we're working on Nero. We're close on Nero. The DMAE was illegal this time last year. Actually, no, it was illegal in December when we pulled it. When we didn't understand that was a substance that wasn't authorized. And then immediately after we pulled it, they authorized it. Because it's not a hazardous substance, it just took the government of Canada a while to figure out that it's actually good for you. It's not like fish, right? Yeah, so it'll be fine. Yes?
Two-part question. President CEO, is there a danger going public? If so, what is
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that. Just right now, I got an email from my attorney that one of my tweets has to be released to the SEC in the morning. Right now, as I'm literally talking to you, because I said, the path is all math. I saw in an SEC filing in the morning, one of my tweets gets filed because of the relationship we have with Blair. You know, frankly, being a public company makes sense when there is how do I say it? It makes sense when there's a premium and the company is received as the gold standard in the marketplace, right? So if Visalis were to go public and it was like 100 times more valuable than Herbalife, it makes sense because it shows that the company's value is greater, right? But if Visalis were to go public at, you know, 100 times less valuable than Herbalife, well, that makes your opportunity much more difficult to, you know, to market because people are like, well, you know, Wall Street thinks you're worth less.
Like Facebook.
Yeah, right? You know, and so the reason why I pulled the IPO, which, you know, was a very difficult decision, is I knew that it wasn't the right time to take a company public within our industry. And it turned out I was right, because now all these billionaires are fighting in Herbalife and all that stuff. So I don't see us going public in the near future whatsoever. I think we have a lot to prove. And I'm excited by that, because I want to prove that we are 10 times more valuable than any company that has ever existed in this industry. And if somebody's not willing to value our brand as that, then I have no need. We don't need money. You know, we have a very cash-generative business. So we made $97 million in profit last year, which is a fair amount of profit. And we are reinvesting, you know, that profit into expanding this business and growing it. Some of the things that you're going to hear about us rolling out, you'll see big-time investments. We've invested in our corporate headquarters, which on May the 4th will have a grand opening there. And so I'll certainly invite a lot of people in London will be there because it's a close drive. But on May the 4th, we'll have our grand opening. It'll be really exciting for you guys to see. In Detroit. We built a facility that is second to none. All designed around supporting our promoters. My desk is actually in the call center. There's a TV. Yeah, that wasn't a dead person underneath my desk for some people that thought when I posted the picture. The TV has the call center queue on it, you know, that I sit next to. And, you know, we built something, you know, we have yet to see the return on those investments. We're really excited about it. Another question. Second part.
Second part is rules and regulations.
Yeah.
80% of people do not read them. They
Yeah.
define them this and that. What is the rules and regulations that Visalis has for any promoter that does two promotions, another involved in another company and this?
Yeah.
What is their policy?
Yeah. Justin, what's the policy? Justin runs the.
Section 23 is you can't promote another multi-tiered compensation plan and be advice out. So you can have a, you know, you can have a check from a company you previously were in and came here that you're not building, but you can't be in Visalis and promote another MLM company.
And why is that?
Well, it's convoluted. You can't. You know, some people say, well, what about this one because it's a blogging company? Well, it's not the products, it's the people, the time, the energy, and there's, you know, it's a longer discussion, but I mean, there's people that think they can do and serve two masters.
Here's the reason why. It's really like this. If you worked at Apple, could you go sell Google's products? The answer is no. They wouldn't let you do that. Why? Because when you work at Apple, you're privy to certain information, you're privy to certain strategy that you could go give to the enemy, right? If you work for us, like you're in meetings right now, I'm giving you information, I'm giving you stuff that is not available in the public market. We have a complete trust connection with our leaders. We have a complete desire to keep our leaders informed, keep our people informed, give them strategy, give them information, give them things that are not out in the open market. If people are working for the competitors, well, then, you know, then our trade secrets and intellectual property could be breached. So this is not for discussion. This is just something that is the law, right, of ViSalus.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's simply how we do business. Great. Any other? Yes, Matt.
Everybody in the room obviously is at a leadership level, and you know, you being an entrepreneur, previous to being at ViSalus and learning about this industry, what are some of the biggest reasons that a person needs to attend the National Success?
Yeah, biggest reasons. Yeah, that's a great question. Number one, it's not about you. It's about your people, and it's about your new people. It's a lot of times in this industry, we get focused too much on ourselves. It's about that new person having a new belief system in their brain, having a belief seeded in their brain for the first time that they can be successful because they watch somebody else that they identify with do it. Because they see, they see a 24-year-old Charles Marion walk the stage as 5-star and they go, I could do that, right? They see a person lose 100 pounds. They see the way a marriage has rejuvenated around the business. They see the way the kids are now taking their health seriously, and they go, you know what, I want to get my kids involved, right? So it's about something that they're going to take away from that event, that they will not get unless they're in that room. And it's a different, everyone takes away something different, right? Everyone takes away something different. So your goal is just to get them there, and then our goal as a company and the leadership team is to make sure we give enough that people get to take away that they're going to go back and hopefully build their business to greater heights, and build themselves to greater heights. So that's number one, in my opinion. You have no idea. You might have a young Nick Sarnicola in your group. You get him to that event, he sees something on that stage, he makes a decision, and now you have a Nick Sarnicola running in your group that you'd never know you had him. He didn't even know he was Nick Sarnicola until that one trigger happened. Your job is just to get him in there, so that way there's an opportunity for those people to do it. That's number one. Number two is this is where the company does all of our launches, right? So to be a part of that excitement, to be a part of a launch, to be a part of that session is it's an advantage to your business. To not be a part of it means you're not basically going to have your business will not have the tools, the information, the understanding. Your team won't be trained. You know what I mean? Because all of your leaders are going to be in the room getting the same information at the same time. So that way you can launch together versus having to go home, go chase everybody down to try to give them the information that you just learned, or hope that it appears on Facebook. So you got to get there to get that type of stuff. That's where we launch everything, is at the events. So, yes.
What tools or techniques do you use to stay so focused, other than your passion and maybe
Yeah, Nero helps. What do I do? Use tools do I use to stay focused? I read a lot. I get on my treadmill or the exercise bike. I'll go through YouTube videos of great inspirations of, I'm constantly investing in myself. I'll watch old Steve Jobs videos. I'll watch Tony Hsieh from the CEO of Zappos. I'll watch, on YouTube you can find great stuff. I'll watch Bruce Lee. I'll watch Michael Jordan's highlight reels. I'll watch Mike Tyson's highlight reels, right? So I'm always just keeping myself, and that's the other thing that you get at our National Success Training. It's like, I'm always trying to just constantly, a person told me, he said, Ryan, how many hours a week do you work out? And I probably work out, at least 10 hours a week. He said, then you should put at least 10 hours a week into your head as well. So if you're putting 10 hours a week in your body, you should put 10 hours a week into your mind, right? Does that make sense? So I try to keep that mental balance, because otherwise, you know, I'm not perfect at it, but I'll tell you, when I've been down, when I've had tough times, I've always turned to a book, to an audio series. I mean, that is the magical solution in my life. I always know if I'm like, man, I'm in a place I don't want to be, whether, you know, I was dealing with my mom or whatever, it was always turning to something growth-oriented. She's doing great. I get to see her tomorrow. So excited. Is there a blizzard coming?
Yeah.
When, how does that affect us? Will it be here all day tomorrow? Or?
You are going there.
Yes.
Just a kind of a personal question for me. We've seen, I've been in since February 2010. We've seen this huge growth. It's been incredible. Our message, obviously, very weight loss focused, and that's amazing. I'm a one, so I can't really complain. I just wonder, coming from a personal training background, as we've seen kind of people's challenges escalate and escalate, like Muay Thai, and I did a triathlon. My first challenge was a weight loss challenge. Will we ever see more of a fitness message at all? Now, keeping in mind, obviously, where our money's made, will there be more of a focus or like an a la carte product that's kind of pre-workout or?
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity in that particular sector. Right now, I'd be focused on 100% on weight loss season. This is the season for weight loss, right? You get the fitness people as a result of having all these people getting fit, you know, losing the weight. And so focus on the weight loss people, and you'll get fitness people, right? You know, and that's just the nature of how it works. And then fitness people are only about 5% of the world. Now, it looks like when we're in a room like this, like there's fitness all around us, right? You know, when you hang around with certain circles, you see fitness everywhere. But, you know, go to the mall, right? I mean, look, we're in the mass marketing business. Fitness is a small percentage of the population. And you get fit people because you're helping all these other folks that weren't fit get fit. And then you get fitness people because, you know, that's what we love to do, is we love to help others. Like I was beating up Justin in the gym today, getting him fit, right? Next question, yes.
Yes. Basically, it's a tiny little thing, but we know that everything tends to compound and make sort of bigger things. When we changed the formula to the new shake, there's one thing that changed as well, and which was the size of the bag.
Yeah.
The scoops didn't change, and the way you use it didn't either. So basically, what I mean by tiny little things is that, let's say someone is on a shake kit and wants to do it for 90 days. If he takes 2 scoops, 2 shakes a day, he can end up after 2 months with still enough products to go through his 3rd month.
That's true.
I don't know if anyone else.
Let me look at that.
Yeah.
That might be. So you guys notice that?
Oh yeah.
What?
27 shakes per bag instead of 30.
Yeah, I'll verify.
Business-wise.
Justin, will you take a note on that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I appreciate, you know, that's part of the reason why I'm here, is I want to hear this feedback. Now, like I said, we'll never be perfect. Things like that, I need to hear it. If that is an issue, I will fire someone and get it fixed. Yeah, thank you. No, you didn't. I'm actually, you know what? I work our team very hard. I have a very talented team. I don't fire them easily. But if they make a mistake twice,
that makes a lot.
Cattle school difference.
Kind of a question and maybe a good idea. We are about his business, and we heard the statistics of Jason about kids, you know, and we know that sometimes as parents we do our challenge and our kids just want to do it with us and everything. And I talked to Audrey about it, but it's maybe anytime soon we might have a kid kit.
Yeah.
And kind of maybe
get to national success training. Get to national success training.
Good.
I have a son, as you know, 4 years old, and I love it when he eats Nutri cookies, because I know that he's putting great, you know, it's like, I don't like to reward my son with like chocolate or candy or things like that, because I know that that's creating a very bad habit, but I'll reward him with a Nutri cookie. So I've been thinking about this for a few years now, about kids' kits.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I had a question.
I enjoy the Canadian shake. However, I have some customers that prefer the American shake, and actually since I've started ordering online through American vendors to receive the American shake.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can get American shake into Canada, or that kind of?
Yeah, there's a couple things. So for one, the one particular company, we're within days of filing a lawsuit against Amazon. They have refused to, you know, they're infringing on the use of our brand, and you know, and so, you know, we'll put a stop to it. I don't like to sue people if I don't have to. I do business in a way where, you know, if something's not, if we're in error or we're wrong, we try to fix the problem and we say sorry. So in this particular case, we're going to put a stop to that. On the U.S. shake versus the Canadian shake, I mean, the answer would be, the only way, I mean, the answer is no, not now. But eventually, you could get it for NFR, but it wouldn't be for resale. It'd be like only for a personal consumption type thing. So for right now, the answer would be no, but I will keep that in mind. I appreciate bringing it to my attention.
You just mentioned the Amazon.
Yeah.
On Amazon. Have you guys looked at eBay?
Yeah. Justin's focused on the eBay side of it, and
Kijiji too.
Kijiji.
What is that?
Do you know about this, Justin?
Yeah,
It's our
that's a new
version
one.
of Craigslist.
Craigslist too.
All right, we'll look at it. A few things. One is the reason why all that stuff was happening, because, you know, obviously we don't sell our product at a discount to anyone that doesn't sell for under wholesale. The reason why it was happening was because someone was manipulating the 3-for-free system. A single individual had 768 boxes a month coming to their house. They would then use that, and there was a number of them. They would then use that and put it up on all these websites to try to compete with our very own promoters. So once we figured out how they were doing it, we changed the 3-for-free rules, and so we're policing that. So number one is to cut off the supply, in which we've done. Then the second part of it is to stop these companies from profiteering off of Visalis, like Amazon and eBay and these other ones. And so my legal department is, you know, going after all of them because they don't have a right to use our brand and trademark and sell our products. We have not granted them that right. I can't take Amazon's brand and put it all over my stuff, right? I can't say, oh, you know, we're in a partnership with Amazon, right? No, they can't say they're in a partnership with Visalis, so we'll get it. One other thing, hold on real quick on this. You have to focus on what you do have, not what you don't have. So number one, you do have, there's no refund policy. Number two, somebody said to me, oh, I can get it on eBay. Go, great. Do you know what, you know, how many people probably lick their hands and put their hand inside that shaker bag before you got it? Do you know what the quality is? Do you know if it's stale? It has no refund policy. You shouldn't, you know, take food from people that are illegal. I mean, it could be counterfeit. It could be anything, right? That's number one. Number two, there's no 3-for-free. All right? It's kind of like, you got to take the pudding. If you went to a Louis Vuitton store and said, I can get a Louis Vuitton bag for $5 down the street at the flea market, what do you think they'd say to you at the Louis Vuitton store? Go down the street, right? You know, it is fake, and it is not the brain, it is not the quality, it is not, you know, obviously, right? If you change your band on a Rolex, right, if you change the band to a non-authorized band, they won't fix it. Right? Because they can't guarantee the quality of the watch. So you got to take that same, you know, you're making a bad decision. There's no refund policy with that. There's no 24-hour customer service like we now have 5 days a week. There's no all the other attributes, you know, Project 10, you know, everything else for a reason why. Focus on that. Right? That's what you got to focus on. Now, in the meantime, I'll do my best to continue to try to make your life easier and easier and easier. Last year, I was focused on just getting the phone picked up for you guys, right? Me and Justin. Just getting the shipping done on time, right? Just getting you guys a Canadian shake that was registered, right? This year, I'm focused on fine-tuning things like getting Amazon to stop selling our products, putting some of the terrible competition out of business, you know, through the ramping up of our legal initiatives. Those types of things, right? Expanding international, launching new products, bringing back Vitify. So, you know, your business will be even better if you continue putting your head down, continue focusing, and continue, you know, operating running challenge parties and helping people get their product for free. You do that, and you'll have a badass business, bigger and badder than you did last year. Got it? All right, I don't have much more more time because I have a meeting that I have to do after this. So I'm not going to be able to take any more questions right now. It's 10:12. I appreciate you guys very much. You guys had an excellent meeting. My advice to you, get focused on what you can control and get to work. I'll see you guys at National Success Training. Thank you.